Hello, friends, and welcome back to the One Fear Per Year podcast, where we learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I am so happy that Jen Oliver is joining me today. Jen, thank you for bringing your gorgeous self here to give us your wisdom and insights and stories. And I just love you.
Oh my gosh. I just love you, my friend. And I've been a fan of you for a really long time. And then to have you on our TEDx stage to actually break this down, the one fear per year is so fantastic. So I love that you brought this to a podcast medium. So needed.
Yeah.
This man, who doesn't have fear?
Yeah.
We need to normalize talking about it and calling it out so that we can then start to take ownership of it and work on it.
I totally agree. It's like the stigma thing where, oh, we're supposed to be perfect and have everything together and not second guess anything. And it's like, no, we all have those fear moments. And specifically, I know that you are a communication specialist and you know all about that realm of communication, public speaking, getting on big stages. And as we know, that tends to be a huge fear for a lot of people. How have you seen fear show up in the communications arena?
Oh my goodness. This is true because most people know fear of public speaking as one example, like stepping up on a stage or speaking up in a board meeting or in a sales presentation. It's like number 3. I think it's death, snakes, and public speaking ranked in like human fears. So that's a real thing. I will forever be in business for that reason. But what I've come to know and the way I coach people is that in actuality, that fear that you're feeling, let's take that word aside for a minute, that energy in your body that you have labeled fear or anxiety or trepidation or oh my gosh, I can't speak in public. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes that is just the energy in your body that's needed to meet the situation, right? Because that's a lot of energy coming at you. It's higher stakes to step onto a stage or speak up in a board meeting than to walk into the grocery store and buy your groceries. So of course, because of all that energy coming at you, because of the stakes being higher, you need energy to meet it or it just bowls you over. But the problem is we've labeled it and created a narrative around the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm anxious, I'm fearful. So the first thing I do when I work with people is I go, could we relook at this and actually analyze, is this really fear you're trying to muscle into submission? Or is it perhaps energy you need to partner with to then go ahead and have the energy you need to meet the situation? And so that's the first thing. Some people, it's a legit fear because they have a trauma response from being a kid, from being shamed in school. I hear that one a lot. Laughed at as a kid because you raised your hand in class or a teacher called on you and you said something in a way and kids laughed and then you have a sensitive spirit and then suddenly it's like, oh, I'm never doing that again. So there's a lot to that and I want to validate all of it's legit, but we can relook at it.
And
For
I love that.
yeah.
It's the reframe,
Yeah.
right? Like looking at something through a different lens. Why can the same thing happen to two different people and they have a different experience or they view it differently? So it really is what we choose to do with our mind. And I can very much relate to the child who has had the kind of traumatic experience. Mine was a speech contest when I was a sophomore and forgetting my lines
Ooh,
and forgetting my speech for like a solid 30 seconds.
yeah.
So then losing that speech contest and vowing never to speak in public again, ever, because I don't want that feeling. So exactly what you just said. Let's take someone like me that happened to, that you're coaching. So you'll tell them to reframe it. Besides that, are there any other tips that you have for people that truly have that kind of traumatic fear response?
Yeah. So now let's, because this is really important and we don't want to gloss past it. That's a real pain. Like that's a wound, right? And so first of all, acknowledging that and going, "Oh my word, okay, picture that younger girl or younger child, okay? Picture that young person and what they're feeling right now, and you have so much compassion for them in it. And now I'm the adult on the scene who gets to see this from my perspective and just kind of meet them in it." So I always tell people, first of all, give yourself so much grace and compassion to go, "Of course you feel this way." And then perhaps unpack, okay, how can I rebuild out of this? What are the things I can do to grow this muscle and grow stronger? Like in I have women speak circles. And when I'm in those, we always celebrate each other so that women can start to feel like, oh, there's not going to be a negative repercussion. There's no blowback if I actually say something and speak up or share my truth and what is really true to me. They may have been in a situation like you described, or in a family where they were constantly shushed, or they were constantly got negative blowback if they asked for what they needed or spoke their truth. So I say get in a situation where you are starting to be celebrated for it. It's got to be kind of a safe psychological space, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a speaking circle, whether it's a storytelling group, where you start to use your voice and get celebrated for it. So we rewire that neural pathway, not to expect something negative, but now to feel safe and secure in your body and feel celebrated. That's a first of many ways.
Love. Now, putting aside the fear of public speaking per se, in your own life,
Ugh.
how has fear shown up, and what have you done to work with it or put it in the back seat if it's driving the car? Like, what are the things that you've done to deal with fear in your own life?
Okay, so I'm gonna just draw upon my own life this very year. Okay. It's hilarious. My family goes, "You're a communications consultant. Like, come on." It's okay, because I am this extroverted person. I can stand on the stage, I can talk from a microphone. That's easy. But if you looked at my communication in my personal relationships, no bueno. It was not so great because I had fear of disappointing people. I had fear of saying what was true. So I always had to fix things or make it like a soft place to land where everybody is feeling good about what I'm saying. So I'd never tell the real truth, or I'd sort of dance around a subject, or I wouldn't want to disappoint or hurt someone. So I wouldn't really say what was going on. I was not a clear communicator at all. And this year, I decided I am single after being married and divorced for decades. I said, you know what? I've never really dated and learned how to communicate in an interpersonal relationship. And I want to learn how to communicate what I want or don't want. I want to talk about what I'm interested in or don't need. I want to be honest when I'm not into someone and just give them the dignity of their response. So this year, I really set out to I went on a dating app and I said, "I'm not looking for exclusive. I'm not looking for a life partner. I'm not trying to communicate to make you into my next spouse. That is not it. I really wanna date a lot of amazing people. I want to grow and learn about myself and also meet really cool souls." And it has taught me this year how to communicate, how to send a text or make a phone call to say, "You know what? I loved our time together. It was a fun first date, but I'm just realizing the chemistry isn't there and I wish you well." And like how to frame that because I wanted to dance around it or avoid it, like not ghost them, but avoid. So I've been forcing myself into a whole bunch of different dating relationships. Um, that don't fit the mold sometimes either, and purposely, like, not looking for a long-term partner so I can get practiced at this, and not because I don't also it now makes it sound like I'm just dating to use them to become a better communicator. That's not the case. I love meeting people, and I'm a very romantic person, and I want all that, and who knows, might meet someone that there's great chemistry. But for now, in the meantime, I'm gonna just try to show up as honest and real as I can be and communicate from that place and get better and better at listening deeply to them and allowing them to communicate, hearing them, and then communicating fully with them right back. So I'm
Oh,
in it. I'm in it.
I I love it, and that honesty component, the not wanting to disappoint someone, I think that's been a huge one for me as well. What what things help you in that regard to not manage other people's emotions, to
Yep.
not feel like you're responsible, and to bring that very clear communication, "This is how I feel. This is my truth."
Okay, I have a I know the exact this has been so huge. This is probably my biggest lesson. I had a relationship mediator, her name's Stacy Bartley, and she said, "Jen, in the absence of communication, they are creating fiction so far worse than the reality of the situation that it is profoundly unkind that you don't tell the truth. You think you're fearing something and you're protecting them. In actuality, you're causing them greater pain." This happened when I ended my very brief second marriage is I did not want to say the true thing. And I kept dancing around it because I felt badly and I didn't wanna hurt him and I wanted to create a soft place to land for him. And he was so confused, like, "I don't understand what you want," because I wasn't saying what was going on. And finally, when I just said, "I realized I made a mistake. I rushed into this marriage. I'm so sorry. I don't belong here. It has nothing to do with you. It's everything with me." Suddenly, he wasn't like, "Oh, okay," because he was trying to fix himself, like, to make it. In the absence of communication, the fiction that was happening for him was so much more painful. And so that's what I say to people is it is better to get really still and quiet, find what's the truest thing, call upon your courage and say the truest thing, even though you fear, and then give them the dignity of their response. And then be okay with the fact that they're having their response. When I broke off a relationship I was dating earlier this year, we were dating fairly consistently, and I honestly told him the truth and then got quiet and gave him the dignity of his response, and then we worked through that. It was a far better conversation, and it left it far healthier at the end of it. And yet I didn't kowtow and I didn't cringe and just suddenly go, "Oh, well, maybe we could have coffee. Maybe we could still." No, that was not true. So why lie to him?
Right,
Does
and
that
don't
make sense? Yeah.
totally, and isn't there a part too of, I don't wanna say playing God, but kind like this, we're limiting people's growth.
Yeah.
Yes, by trying to manage and try, it's like, what are we, so powerful that we can, put
Totally.
all these things in place, just but because I hear you, everything you're saying, I'm like, "That's me, I feel that, I know that to be true," and I've had to tell myself, "This is you're not as big and grandiose as that to be able to manage and maybe manipulate things, well-meaning, but still doing that, to just say, 'This is my truth,' and then that person can have their own experience and their own growth in that, and
Yeah.
then we can have ours."
My coach said to me, "Jen, you think you're being so nice and kind and that you don't wanna hurt someone?" And she called me out and she goes, "No, you fear your discomfort at their response. So in actuality, this is your ego and this is you. It is not about you being so kind and, 'Oh, I don't wanna hurt them.'" She called me out. She's like, "That's crap." And I was like, because I've kinda relied on, "Oh, I just wanna be nice. I don't wanna hurt anyone." She goes, "No, you don't wanna feel the discomfort of their reaction. This
Yeah,
is about you. It is not about you being nice to them." That was big for me. Like, that was huge. I just learned that this year. Like, come on. But you know what? Hey, 54, I figure I got 40 more years. I'll take it.
and I love that because some people go, their whole lives without
Totally.
diving into the self-awareness, because there is some pain, emotional pain involved. Like you said at the beginning, it's like a punch in the gut, a slap in the face. Like, "What? I'm doing this?" But, like, our deepest, truest selves know when that thing we've just been told is the truth.
That's right.
And so I love that for you. I love how you're showing up in the world currently with these learnings and new tools and things like that.
Well,
Ah,
you influenced it. You need to know when you started the one fear per year, and I listened to your talk over and over and over for getting ready for TEDx. It was like, what I remember thinking, what's going to be my fear? What's going to be my challenge to myself? And for me, this year was having harder, more difficult conversations around relationships and dating. So therefore, I have to date people and meet strangers to start to do this. So it's partly you, girl.
I love it. And is there anything else that you have in mind that you wanna really overcome, or where you feel some kind of a resistance
Oh,
that
yeah.
you wanna walk through? What is that, and do you have any plans of how to approach that?
So it keeps coming back to how I communicate, because that's just a big one this year. But I feel like I need to pivot it and not keep talking about communication.
No, whatever's on your heart, really.
It's going in even further to the really intimate conversations. So as it relates to relationships, even whether it's dating, whether it's my children, whether it's my ex-husband, whether it's talking about my money with a business partner, the stuff that we go, "Ooh, this is really delicate territory," whether it's sex, whether it's, our kids' emotions who are now adults, and they're dealing with their own anxieties, and you have to look at your frailties as a parent and own your stuff raising them. It's all of those really sensitive topics that I think are another layer of fear, even more so than the other ones I talked about earlier. I think those are a different one, and it's totally an inside job. Like, I've got to get okay with broaching these subjects, and I've got to get really clear on knowing what I value, where I stand, who I am, so that I can show up more whole to those conversations. I can be dropped into my body, use my truest voice instead of this chatter in my head that's all performative, that's people pleasing, that's culture, context, all the voices in my head. I don't think those are accurate. I've got to drop into my body, really listen deeply there, follow that kind of instinct and that almost spiritual voice in me and operate from there. That's the one.
Yes, 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 and yes. And hypnotherapy worked wonders for me in diving into my subconscious. That was the calming of the mind chatter, getting deeper. It's when I realized that all the fear was inside of me was through hypnotherapy. It's another session is when I saw the highest version of myself, and I actually went out and took a picture because it was me on a cliff overlooking the ocean in this white dress. Like, I had it such a visual image of, like, that's my highest version of me, and shoulders back, heart forward, just this, kind of confident humility being. And
Oh,
so we went to the ocean. My friend who's a photographer and a painter came out. She took pictures. She painted a canvas for me, and it hangs in my bedroom. And it's amazing because every day I can wake up and go, that is who I truly am. That
I
is
love
who I am.
this.
Yes.
Janice. Oh my god, was that Nafsheen who did that for you?
Yes.
I love Nafsheen.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yes. And you know what I'll do is when this episode comes out, I will link um, the the photo, or I'll attach
Please.
the photo that she
Yes.
did, and because she is an amazing human being and such a gift to this world, so I definitely wanna put her work out there as well, and
100.
we're running out of time because these go by so fast, and
No,
you
I love
have
this.
so much good, ugh, nuggets of wisdom and insight, and I just love you, like I said. One last question.
Yeah.
The no right or wrong answer, but in your mind, if there is an opposite of fear, like a true opposite word from fear, what would that word be for you?
Worth. 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 When you are rooted in your own worth, in the worth of others, and then you live into your worth, you own it, you live in it, you lean into it, I think that's the opposite of fear.
Jen Oliver, you are amazing. Thank you for being such an extraordinary example of vulnerability, honesty, practicing what you preach. In my opinion, those are the best coaches who truly impact and allow other people to be human and improve and grow and get rid of the shame and just show up really big and beautiful in this world. So thank you for being you, my friend.
Oh, my friend, I love and appreciate you, and congrats on this podcast. May it just continue to grow as it's growing so much. May it continue to grow and just have such a massive impact on people. I already have seen, I've been privileged to watch the impact you have on others. And so now to have it in this medium, I'm so stoked. I love this for everybody who gets to hear it.
Thank you, friend.